Welcome back to New Rockstars. What is the actual story of Agatha All Along? It's your favorite WandaVision decoders back to figure out what is really going on with this Agatha series. It's deep, dark secrets. What is going on with Billy Kaplan? Whether Wanda Maximoff could resurrect, and some details we missed in our trailer breakdown, or really I missed because I'm a flawed human being. We're easing on down the road.
Ease on down the road.
Ease on down the road. You've been singing a lot of musicals. You need to stop this.
Oh, I've been singing a lot.
Yes, you have been.
Okay.
Let me do this. This is the sneak peek, the weekly show on New Rockstars where we look ahead to the future of fandom. I'm Jessica Clemons. Here with me today is Erik Voss. Here with me every day is Erik Voss.
What a week it's been. Jessica, you made history on New Rockstars this week by breaking down a music video, and the internet cannot get enough of it.
The response that I've been getting is so funny, but I'm more happy that it's comical. And then immediately you guys are like, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm very
so
happy.
good.
I'm very happy.
It might be the most educational video I've ever seen on New Rockstars.
Hey, if you gave me 3 hours and a Gatorade, I was trying to think of things that power me up.
So here's what we're gonna do in this episode. Jessica and I are just gonna talk about Agatha and try to answer the questions you all still have, because this might have been one of the wildest, most colorful trailers Marvel has ever released. And I went through it all and I was like, I still don't really know what's happening in this shot. So we're just gonna go back through some of the trailer moments and talk about the details we missed and some amazing observations that you all gave us in the comments of that video, and some updates we got from our friends over at Scarlet Witch Updates on Twitter, on their site Nexus Point News, because they did their own amazing trailer breakdown. Go read through that article.
Yay.
And give them a follow at Scarlet Witch Updates on Twitter. They just do the best Scarlet Witch stuff. So I want to start with official synopsis of this that we talked about in the trailer breakdown, but it starts to answer some questions, but pose other questions. The log line of the show is: the infamous Agatha Harkness finds herself down and out of power after a suspicious goth teen helps break her free from a distorted spell. Her interest is piqued when he begs her to take him on the legendary Witch's Road, a magical gauntlet of trials that, if survived, rewards a witch with what they are missing. Together, Agatha and this mysterious teen pull together a desperate coven and set off down the road.
Yeah, this is the Wizard of Oz.
This is the Wizard of Oz, or is it the Wiz?
It definitely is the Wiz, because the Wiz does ease on down.
Wiz does ease on down. And I did it wrong in the trailer breakdown. I said get on down the road, but it's not. It's ease on down. And what a world of difference between get on down and ease on down. You're supposed to ease on down that road.
If you're seasoned, you ease on down that road. If you're not, you're just getting down that road. Which is interesting to make that correlation, because the Wiz, yes, it is the black version of the Wizard of Oz. And there's not really too much far from the actual Wizard of Oz in terms of characters that differentiate from the Wiz. So technically, if they are going with the Wiz, it's they're still going with the same, here's each individual. They all need something. They're going to see a wizard. That wizard's a lie.
Yeah, I get asked a lot about why I'm so obsessed with the Wizard of Oz, and my response is always, why aren't you? It is top 5
I love the Wizard of Oz.
Films. I'll rewatch it. It scares me. It delights me. It makes me cry every time I watch it. And it's because it has been transposed through American cinema and fiction in so many different ways, through The Wiz, which is its own equally worthy, beautiful musical with songs that make me cry even more, to Gregory Maguire's Elphaba, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West. But it is a weird book that they turned into one of the most box office successful musicals on Broadway of all time, that gave us the careers of Idina Menzel, that gave us Frozen and Kristen Chenoweth and Glee, arguably in a way, to now what's going to be probably one of the biggest movies this year, John Chu's movie version. And you cannot tell me that The Wizard of Oz isn't one of the most important stories in American fiction just based off of that.
I think there's a lot of directors that use The Wizard of Oz, definitely for Barbie, but even for the new Willy Wonka, he was like, yeah, I also looked at The Wizard of Oz because you can see what you can do in such a little bit of money. There's just a lot of things that are great from The Wizard of Oz. Also bad things from The Wizard of Oz.
The man behind the curtain, how important was that to Loki, right? I had my whole theory that every American movie is trying to either be The Wizard of Oz or Citizen Kane. And you can find exceptions to the rule, of course. I just think those two movies were probably more influential than any other movie. Gone with the Wind in some ways to historical epics. But those movies both came out within a couple years of each other. Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz came out within a year of each other, which is just crazy to think about. It's not that crazy when you think about not that many movies movies were made back then, and the movies they did make, they poured everything they had into them, and that these were the movies that everyone just watched for a generation on television, and that it just influenced their whole interest in this art form. It's obviously going to be important to this story, to Agatha.
100%.
The set design of the Witch's Road. I think they definitely looked at Victor Fleming's designs for the Orchard and the Wizard of Oz and the Yellow Brick Road. They're leaning into the fact that they want it to look like a practical set that has a storybook quality to it.
I think it's like, think of an evil witch and what its Wizard of Oz would look like if the evil witch was in charge of all of the entire kingdom. Do you think the entirety of Agatha All Along is going to take place on the Witch's Road?
Yeah, before we saw this trailer, Jess, I would have said like, maybe they'll go there in episode 4 and then we'll never see it again. But it seems like they are spending so much time in this realm, and there's different color-coded sections of the road. And it feels like they're going to go to this road and then come up into the surface in a different horror homage, whether it's like 80s teen slasher movie / Exorcist, where they're playing with the Ouija board and one of them gets possessed, and then like some kind of Suspiria-inspired disco tech where horrible things happen. Some kind of like classic witch story where it looks like Lily Calderu is in her own kind of like tarot card reading place.
I think it was Scarlet Witch Updates a while ago that was like, they open the cellar doors at the end of episode 2. They were like, everything that we've seen so far happens within the first 2 episodes. If they do take the entirety of the shows, each one of them going through their like own version of hell or whatever they have to face in the Witch's Road, I'd still love that, because by the time they get out of the Witch's Road, it might only be like a day or 2 days, like that Agatha didn't have her powers. It's like taking us out of the MCU timeline for a second, and then it can just throw us back into the MCU timeline at any point. And I think that's easy for them to do and doesn't take a lot from any of the MCU timeline.
Yeah, in some ways, it's almost like WandaVision turned inside out.
Yes.
WandaVision started and spent so much time in these TV show worlds. And then in episode 8, took us down into the depths of Wanda's subconscious. But what if it like maybe starts with Mare of Easttown, but then just spends all this time in the storybook realm and then comes up for air in an Exorcist reference, American Werewolf in London reference, or whatever the demon that they're doing. That kind of almost looks like a Sam Raimi demon, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's so funny how it's like so much Sam Raimi, but also so much that She-Hulk episode with the Magic Castle. I was like, oh yeah, this is those 2 shows mixed together. Do we know if there's going to be a Marvel Spotlight?
It's Marvel Television.
Marvel Television,
So,
yes. Okay.
I mean, Echo was Marvel Television. Daredevil Born Again.
I still think you can be Marvel Television. I think you can still be MCU, and I still think you can be Marvel Animation and still go under the Marvel Spotlight. I think Marvel Spotlight is just genuinely like, you don't need to watch these, but you can. And so I think they're just like, it's a second tier. I don't think that should be thought of at all for Agatha, but I do think it's going to be like an origin story for Agatha. We're going to be seeing it through flashbacks, even if that like Ouija board scene is her at her young self and she conjured a demon and that was the first time she ever like witnessed her powers.
I think you're right structurally, because we saw her origin point in Salem in 1693, but I think there is a scene in the trailer where it's an overhead shot in the woods where she's wearing a Victorian version of her clothes. That kind of seems like, late 1800s, early 1900s, and it's a different coven that she screwed over in the past, and that's why Lily Calderu is like, no, we've heard stories about you. You just go coven to coven and just suck all them dry.
You mentioned that in your breakdown, how like she's just going to coven and just going zoop. Could she have taken that zoop power? Because if it does keep her young, do you think she's taken a lot that make herself too young and just been like a 40-year-old woman in like a 13-year-old's body?
Yeah, I wonder if that's something Lily could call her out on. Like, you could have let yourself age a little bit.
She said no. It would also be interesting if like she already had a past with every one of these witches. I kept alluding to the fact that like each one of these witches, since they're alone, that's already weird in itself, because most people are in covens. Even the Salem Witch 7's children are like kind of their own version of a coven. And I was like, oh, why is Patty Lupone, Sashir Zamata, Ali on, like, why are all these characters alone? Where's their coven at? So I thought for a minute that Agatha might have had like touched on one of their covens every time and like destroyed them or ruined them.
Oh, I like that. The description is like they are all covenless witches and they are all missing something in their lives. So like, should we use the structure of the Wizard of Oz? The Scarecrow needs a brain. The Tin Man needs a heart. The Lion needs courage. Dorothy just needs something to do.
I think, and that's gonna be Joe Rubb's character. That's gonna be Miss
Joe
Hart. No, Miss Hart's.
Oh, Deborah Jo Rupp. I thought you said Joe Rubb, and I'm like, who's Joe Rubb?
You mean Joe Locke, Jessica? No, porn star Joe Rubb. Don't you know him? Back to the Future.
Oh
Listen to this. And it's Joe Rogan. I don't. Now we're going off the wheels.
You know that hard on you're looking for? Well, listen. It's your cousin Joe. So I think each of them are missing something. Maybe if they complete this thing, will make them more applicable or more endearing to a future coven.
Some of them are going to be missing things that are very meaningful. Like, I'm sure Joe Locke's character is like, I want to find Wanda. Somehow that's my mom or something ridiculous. But I'm sure there's like, Patty LuPone's character is like, I had a necklace once and someone told me I could find it here.
One of them's just like, I want a good burger.
Yeah.
Just one good burger.
It has to be Patty LuPone because I want to see this like 400-year-old Sicilian witch, as she says. What else does she need in the world? She even mocks Agatha wanting to make a coven. So I'm like, what do you need so badly that makes you join the team that you were just criticizing? And she's going to be like, it was actually a Reuben, a classic Reuben sandwich.
A good melt. You know, this whole idea of like jewelry and emblems and pendants and brooches, it might be that. Like, we see a crown that old version of Patty LuPone is wearing, like, you know, when she's wearing this Galinda the Good Witch dress. And like, maybe her crown was taken. Someone else lost a necklace. Rio Vidal had like this pendant on her green cloak, and that each of them lost a talisman that represents something to them. Like, Evanor Harkness had her brooch taken by Agatha, and that Agatha wore that. And she has a new brooch in this. So I wonder if they each have like a different brooch or just some kind of pendant that they lost, but it's symbolic in a way.
Not a lot of them practiced the dark magic that is from the Darkhold. But is there a point on Witch's Road that they could see Chthon? Because there's monsters, there's wizards, there's everything there. And if maybe that's where they have to get her powers back, he has the things. Because that'd be like, this is the guy that created the Darkhold. Like, we're not talking to this crazy monster. We just got rid of it. Why would we want to bring this monster back? And then somehow it's like the embodiment of Wanda and the Witch's Road.
I think Chthon is a really good suspect for who the man behind the curtain of this
It has to be someone like, not Mephisto. It can't be Mephisto. It has to be, it can't.
Let's say it right now. We don't want Mephisto to be in this show.
Eric doesn't want Mephisto on this show. Because it has to be someone massive. Because Agatha's still very strong. It has to be someone that can withhold her, but I also don't think the reveal of Wanda would be like, I'd just be like, oh, Wanda's hiding here? But if it's someone that's faking themselves to look like Wanda, I'm like, oh shit, now people think Wanda's alive.
What I hope is that these witches are kind of like Dorothy's group, that some version of Wanda appears in this show as the Wicked Witch of the West of this show. Or the Elphaba, you could say, you know, kind of a redemptive witch. And she's on her Elphaba path now. You know, some are going to say Rio Vidal is the Wicked Witch of the
That's
West.
what I was thinking.
I want it to be Wanda, and that there's some other wizard, and that wizard could be Chthon. I guess it could be Mephisto, but I'm saying it right now. I don't want Mephisto. I'm going to put it out there that like, I don't want Mephisto for this, so that if they do surprise us and he shows up here, I get to be surprised.
Okay, so you're lying to yourself.
I just don't like him for this show. I
don't either. It has to be.
I want it to be about these witches,
and it has to be a monster to me. Like, not a monster, but it has to be something massive. It has to be a big thing. I want it to be a demon monster so bad, like a big ass demon monster. Like the things that we got in She-Hulk were so perfect for this. Like just a giant bat creature or something. Because you're on the Witch's Road. It's more than just what we've seen in the MCU. This is everything. It's your fears. So show me the fears.
Hey, here's a pitch. I know I pitched this before and it pissed you off so much.
What is the pitch?
Hecate or Hecate, played by Gal Gadot.
No!
Why not, Jessica?
First off, why are we putting the Greek goddess, the one that like you have to kill dogs to get to?
So, an Israeli to play a Greek goddess. What's wrong with that?
I wasn't even thinking that way first. First off, I already said no to Gal Gadot. That was I didn't have to think about it too hard. I didn't even think about that.
Well, you're gonna have to call her and tell her.
And I will. I will break the news. There's another role I'm sure she can get in a different army.
I think whatever universe she's in, when she appears, we have to hear.
Get her out. Leave her. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. This is the second time Gal Gadot's been brought up to me today. I had to rewatch that stupid "Look at all the people."
Yeah, she needs to sing Imagine as well. Like, we need to hear her say,
if you join
there's no heaven.
Imagine there's no heaven.
There's
and she talked it
hell.
too. She said, I don't know the song. Because she did say, imagine there's no heaven. And then Kristen Wiig was the second one up and she tried to break it down. Okay, regardless, I don't mind the Greek goddess showing up, but the only reason I do kind of mind it is they're gonna have to do so much tracking with Thor: Love and Thunder.
But will they? Well, do people think about that movie that much?
No, and that's why I'm like, I don't want them to, but I think they're gonna remember the guy from, I didn't even watch it, Ted Lasso.
Who plays Hercules?
Hercules, he's Hercules. Ares is not here,
Ares
thank
is
God.
someone else.
Thank God Ares isn't here. I wouldn't mind because she is like the embodiment of like what witches, even if they did like Persephone or something, but not big enough for me.
Yeah, you'd have to get like a big talent to play her. Like if you got a Nicole Kidman or a Meryl Streep or something like
And
that
that's-
to play the character, you can get away with
I don't think that still would be big enough because you got Patty LuPone in here playing a normal
I know.
witch. You got Patty LuPone.
What if we
in
go to the pages of Broadway? Get a Bernadette Peters in there.
Where's Carol Burnett? Dead? We can.
Or
Is she not dead?
No.
Are you sure?
where is she dead?
As everyone here's talking about Palm Royale now, I thought Carol Burnett was dead.
You get someone from the cast of Hamilton. One of those Schuyler sisters could play her. That'd be fun.
The woman in She-Hulk, the boss. She was one of the Schuyler sisters.
Yes, she could do it. Recast her.
She'd
What
actually
if
be.
it's-
She should be in this show, and she should be the one singing.
How about the woman behind the curtain is Madison? 2 eyes, not where you think.
That reveal would be very fun. That'd be a very fun cameo, not as the wizard, but just a witch, like in the Witch's Road.
Oh, wasn't it theorized that like
She is a witch because she was.
Jen Walter's friend has a pentagram necklace? Could she be another witch in hiding?
They should take this opportunity. This will blow out the world more for sorcery and magic because we only have Carmitage and Wong and Strange and Wanda, and it's all over the place. So I'm like, okay, we can now solidify a lot more things. What's the Witch's Road? Who's there? How can people get there? What are we doing there? Is it just a plane for only cool people? Like, let's talk about it. And then have her just like walking there. And I'd be like, okay, good to know. I also think I kept saying she was a witch because she did have a pendant and she just wore like crescent moon. Like,
Yeah, she was. And
I
that
was
scene
like-
where she like sacrifices a goat. I'm just kidding. That doesn't happen in
I
the
said-
show.
Then I
But
missed
she
that in
does
my
look at the
breakdown.
camera, right? Doesn't she break the fourth wall and look
I
right at
think-
the camera?
She does a lot of stuff. At one point, I thought she was in love with her.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Nah, they were just friends.
Today's video is sponsored by Blue Chew. If you're looking for hot fun in the summertime but need some help getting your mercury to rise, Blue Chew can help. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night. That way you can plan ahead or be ready for whenever an opportunity arises.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
It's super easy to do. Just sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. It's all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. If you're skeptical or don't think you need it, try it for a month and see. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at bluechew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code New Rockstars at checkout. Just pay $5 in shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code New Rockstars to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this video. Yeah, I would love to see Elizabeth Olsen in this show. I think that's the one cameo I just want.
Even if it's her not playing like the actual Wanda. If it's just like
I know
normal
what you're
Elizabeth
saying.
Olsen, like Scarlet Witch, but if she was just a normal everyday mom and so it's just Elizabeth Olsen. Do you want her to play Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch, or just be in it?
I want a confirmation that Wanda is still alive somewhere out there in the cosmos. I don't want that moment for Multiverse of Madness to be Wanda's death. I just think that's just like lame.
No, she's alive. And that's the thing is like the MCU can add it at any point. They could be like, oh, even if they don't add it here, they can put in a different movie 5 years from now. They can be like, Wanda actually didn't die. So someone will do it. If we don't see it in Agatha All Along, someone will bring back Wanda.
A couple details that we just want to point out that were missed in the breakdown that I did. I was trying to figure out what Agatha was humming when she's doing the Mare of Easttown thing. She goes, and I was like, ooh, is that Deo? Because Beetlejuice will be coming out. But no, it's not. Scarlet Witch Updates shared Lizzie on Film, like an Elizabeth Olsen fan appreciation Twitter handle, said it's down, down, down the road, down the witch's road.
Is that a song?
I looked up, I'm like, is that a song somewhere? But I think they're deriving it from the log line of the show. Down, 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 down the road, down the witch's road.
Okay.
He's on down the road.
I don't. Is this? There ain't nothing that might be alone. Come on, ease on down the road. Mm-mm.
So good.
I used to watch that movie on DVD every day before going to bed in 6th grade.
How did you not cry every night?
Because I love
Think
singing
of
it.
home,
I can sing
think
every
of a
song.
place.
I love that movie, dude. I love that movie so much.
The song, When I Think of Home, I getting chills right now. I have watched every YouTube version of that, including high school productions of it that are bad, but those girls are just singing their hearts out.
Are you one of those people that hear music and can cry from it?
Uh-huh.
Aw.
I can think about music and I get emotional.
I don't do that. I only figured that out recently because one of my friends was on a plane with me watching The Prince of Egypt, and there's a song in The Prince of Egypt that made her immediately start crying. And she's like, it's a thing. It's called this. And I was like,
Is it Heaven's Eyes? Look at your life.
Look,
Look at your life through heaven's eyes.
I don't like that when I bring up The Prince of Egypt, people immediately list off 3 songs. And I'm like, no, I don't remember. I have not seen that movie since I was in like kindergarten. Because why would I be watching The Prince of Egypt?
Because it rocks, because it's so good.
I have not seen it in a long time, and I don't think I need to.
The voice cast is incredible. You got Val Kilmer.
Is it better?
You got Ray Fiennes.
Is it better than The Hunchback of Notre Dame? Who the fuck is Ray Fiennes playing in The Prince of Egypt?
It is 10 times better than The Hunchback.
I love The Hunchback. Hellfire is one of the best songs that Disney has ever written.
Hellfire. It's very good. It's very, very good. But Prince of Egypt, oh
Brandon,
my God.
Prince of Egypt or Hunchback?
Prince of Egypt.
He said Hunchback.
No, I heard what he said. You
He
liar.
said Hunchback. So
No, he didn't.
That's 2 Hunchback, 1 one Egypt.
I get 2 votes. And Prince of Egypt, fun fact about Prince of Egypt, composed by Stephen Schwartz, who also did Wicked. And Godspell and Pippin, and one of the best. Steve Martin and Marty Short play the 2 advisors, and their song's really good.
Eric,
so you get
I
a
have
future
not
of
seen
Only
this
Murders in the Building.
since 2000. The year 2000. It's been 24
Watch it
years.
every Easter.
No!
You should watch it every Passover and every Easter.
You know what's funny? For a very long time, my family did watch Passion of the Christ.
Oh,
and-
no.
My family's not
So
religious.
intense.
You know what's crazy? My family's not religious. My mom was genuinely just like watching it. Because I remember being like, telling people, and they were like, oh yeah, you're Christian. And I was like, no,
No,
Mom,
I'm
just-
really not.
my
I just
mom
watched
just-
Mel Gibson's and Jim
mom's
Caviezel's
just
wild.
My mom's just really into this.
The dates on the library card checkout. So we found December 28th, and I got to shout out Brandon for pointing that one out. 12/28, December 28th is Stanley's birthday. That's on the card, but the other dates are birthdays. So February 16th, Elizabeth Olsen's birthday. August 28th, Jack Kirby's birthday. June 2nd, Kevin Feige's birthday. Now, is it possible that if you just list any date, it's going to be someone Marvel-related's birthday? Probably. But I think it's fun to point that out.
I think those are major people, though. Those are major players. It's not like you just named off, like, no offense, the post supervisor.
Riley Auskelis' birthday.
I like how I used Riley as an example.
I think that would still be an Easter egg. We'd count
Yeah,
it.
100%. I don't think their actual birth dates being like Kevin Feige's gonna correlate in the show, because that took me a minute to notice it. That was a library card, a return library slip. So, and
Isn't
it had
so
like
weird?
the New Jersey Westview like name at the bottom of it. I keep being
It's
like,
not a
okay,
toe tag.
yeah. I keep being like, okay, who's returning dead bodies?
Right. Wanda's checking out dead bodies from a morgue.
It's always consistently going because she's living in this fever dream of being like Sherlock Holmes.
The Lenny of it all, I call it Lenny, Aubrey Plaza. She's playing like kind of a Lenny type character from Legion. But Rio Vidal is a green witch who has her own agenda. And what's really weird is in the trailer, it seems like it's Rio who's helping Agatha break out, claw your way out, right? And she's going back through the different eras of her outfits until she's naked. And she's like, I don't have powers anymore. In the description, it's Joe Locke's character, Joe Ruh. It's the goth teen who breaks Agatha out of the spell, not Aubrey Plaza's character. So did he unleash her as some kind of demon, like, to do this?
We talked about it in the break room when the trailer dropped, and I was like, it would be funny if Joe Locke is Aubrey Plaza's familiar and she's sending him to go get Agatha out of this spell. And it's all like her plan to like do a bunch of shit. It wouldn't give major reason, but if he has to go to the Witch's Road to turn from an animal to like a full-fledged sorcerer or wizard, he's like, I want to go to the Witch's Road so I don't have to be an animal anymore.
Like, I like this idea that he could be Senor Scratchy, who after the events of Wanda's spell, like reality just got set and he's just someone living in New Jersey and he's like, I have this life now, but I don't know how to be a teen. So he wants to just be released as a familiar. And maybe that's his mission. I'm just trying to think why they're being so cagey about just calling him Billy Kaplan on the show. Like, why won't Marvel just call him that?
I think that was the reveal they were saving for the show, but it was so quickly like out there to the public and they couldn't really now hide it.
If you have a teenage boy in it.
Yeah, we were going to be like, oh, it's one of the
Billy?
two, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's you,
The
right?
one who's a Wiccan?
What makes me nervous is like, now that we all are fans and we're pushing like, okay, we want you to do this next, they better not make that boy turn into what we see in the comics.
Yeah, give him the crown.
I understand that like Miss Marvel got her name when she got her costume. Like they're all characters that get their name eventually. But I'm like, if he never gets his name, if he never gets Wiccan, I'm gonna be fucking mad. By the end of the show, you better give him Wiccan or something. I don't want to see just a Joe Locke hanging around.
Yeah, can I just say, I get so annoyed by this in the MCU. They make it a big deal how they get their monikers. Like it's such a thing. I liked it in WandaVision where they said, you are the Scarlet Witch. And I think ever since then, I've been kind of annoyed by it. Because at least the Scarlet Witch, it like has this historic title to it. Like she's been crowned this.
And we've been waiting.
She's a destined figure. We've been waiting.
Yeah. We've been like, yeah, she's only called Wanda. She's only called Wanda. And then you are the Scarlet Witch. We're like, yeah. It's felt like it's been going either downhill for me in my heart, or it's just not as impactful.
Like with She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel, it was like, you are my little Miss Marvel. And I wanted to be like, F off.
Yeah.
Just let her be Miss Marvel from the get-go. Let her just say, I'm Miss Marvel now.
Marvel.
Yeah. Blim, blim,
Yeah,
blim, blim.
She-Hulk really was like, I just got this name because men didn't know what to call me.
Yeah.
She even made that joke. She was like, I guess that's my name now.
They just keep doing this thing how they'll get like writers in there who are like, I don't know what these comics are, but Marvel liked my pitch. So I'm going to do 9 episodes about how they get their name. It's like, or just say from the get-go, I'm this character and make your story about anything the else.
Yeah.
God.
That's why I'm like, don't do that with Wiccan.
Don't you dare do it with Wiccan.
If this kid is just Billy the entire time and has no ties to Wanda, has nothing to do with Wiccan, I'm going to be fucking mad.
And it's not any of these writers' fault. It's Feige's own fault from phase 1. When in Iron Man, it ends with Tony Stark reading a newspaper and he's like, Iron Man, that has a nice ring to it. And I want to be like, f off, just be Iron Man from the beginning.
He said, metal dude?
I am.
Metal dude?
It's like they're so afraid of just letting superheroes be superheroes. Like, we know what they are.
To be fair, I guess everybody wants that like moment though for their show. If you're a writer, you're like, I want my name's Daredevil.
I want them to say it. I think what I'm getting at is they keep waiting for the media or someone in their life to give it to them. Why can't they just declare it for themselves just as a form of wish fulfillment?
No matter how stupid we have a door, like a hidden Scooby-Doo door in our office building, which is really cool. And it completely broke. Evan and Brandon have been trying to fix it this entire time. It's like the Two Stooges.
Oh.
One side of the wall is also filled with jelly beans.
Is this when one of the Stooges died?
One of the Stooges died.
And they killed him and hid his body.
The worst part is this is a cartoon scenario because the other side is just jelly beans. So if they all fall, it's just like Brandon's gonna go, whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh yeah. That's something we should also tell our viewers. We have a wall in the new Rockstars office that is all jelly beans. Just tubs and tubs of jelly beans.
And guess who eats them? Me. I pick out the white ones because I love coconut. All the white ones are missing in there. They have been messing with this door. I'm so sorry. It's so distracting.
It's okay. I can barely hear it. And I'm sure our viewers won't notice at all.
They'll love to hear this commentary.
Let us know. I think there's like a few other details we missed. We're so excited for Agatha. I think the show's going to be a lot of fun. And really, there are some amazing merch designs on nerdriot.shop. Our artists came up with this really cool blood moon design that I can't wait to start wearing. I'm going to be wearing it all during the month of Halloween. You know, it's not October. It's just called Halloween. And there's this Choose Your Fighter Deadpool
I love
Wolverine
that shirt.
Oh, it's so great. We got some great Deadpool and Wolverine designs. All these ways are the best way to support what we're doing here at New Rockstars. They just support us directly. nerdriot.shop. Please and thank you. This week on New Rockstars, Jessica has been so inspired and she's just going to start breaking down music videos. That's just left
Not
and
all
right.
of them.
But now she's been brought to the light by all the Drake fans who are now coming after us. So she's just only going to do pro Drake content. From here on out.
Oh, you wish! You wish! No. It's so funny because I
No.
love when Beyonce did her visual album, when Childish Gambino did This Is America. These are the videos I like doing. I know a lot about these. I'm so sorry to say, you guys, I do not know Taylor Swift. So do not come to me and ask me to do a Taylor Swift video because I do not know Taylor Swift. If you guys catch me doing a Taylor Swift video, Eric secretly wrote it with Brandon and their wives and then asked me to recite it.
I don't think anything on the, what's it called? Lonely Heart Clubs Band. I keep messing up the title. The Tortured Poets Department. I don't think anything on there was worthy of an Easter egg breakdown. But man, if we were around during 1989.
Oh my God.
We almost did a breakdown of eras, of just like the eras concert.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Came very close, but we didn't.
Next time.
I mean, just the Bad Blood. That was the Avengers Endgame of like diva music video cameos.
It was like, oh, who's she talking about?
Oh, we all knew who she was talking about. But what's really coming up this week on New Rockstars, we have our House of the Dragon breakdown. Episode 5. It's coming tomorrow. And then otherwise, it's going to be the week of finales. Jessica's breakdown of The Boys Season 4 finale coming on Thursday, as well as my breakdown of the Acolyte finale. I have a feeling that The Boys finale is going to be better than the Acolyte finale. I'm just saying that now. Because I don't know how the Acolyte's going to answer all these questions. I have no idea. No idea.
House of the Dragon's great.
House of Dragon's been a lot of fun.
House of the Dragon's very fun.
I've been having a blast with it. Other than, the horrific violence. Children. Let's move on to our final segment of
what we're watching.
What are you watching this week, Jess?
I started watching this Netflix documentary called Worst Roommate Ever. It's 2 seasons, hour-long episodes, and it's people that live with roommates that perform true crimes. And I'm not trying to be this person, but I'm going to be this person for a little bit, you guys. I'm going to be honest. A lot of the people in these scenarios, clown behavior. Immediately red flags. Do not let these people in your house. If you have an inkling, don't move in with that person. Do not live with that person. Do not give them the key to your house on the first day because they're nice and funny, because they might be a serial killer. Google their first and last name, because a lot of these people, when you Google their first and last name, it was an old lady that had like 70 years of poisoning people.
Oh my God.
She kept going in and out of prison for it. She was like an 80-some-year-old woman now, and she was like digging putting the bodies in her own backyard after killing them. Why didn't anyone, not a single person, look into this woman once? And it was because
does she folds her laundry, and does she not make a lot of noise? Because I'm saying I've had a lot of bad roommates, and this woman, what she did, not a deal breaker.
What happens here? Because I had a roommate named Shelby that snuck in every animal that you can think of into her room. When I told her animals were not
Shelby's out there like.
You can go on YouTube, go look up Worst Roommates College Humor, and you'll find my video on it. And I said her name because I'm still upset about this. Brought a bird, a cat, and a dog.
I can't legally say the names of my worst roommates.
Are they very specific names? Is it Kumail?
Well, they weren't. It's not because they were roommates. That part of it wasn't bad. Hey, we got to move on. What I watched this week, we still have not talked about The Bear, Jess. Did you just read the social media reactions to The Bear and you're like,
no,
I'll just watch it with season 4?
I'm going to watch it all. I was really busy with the Kendrick Lamar stuff and then still doing the boys stuff and then still doing House of the Dragon
show.
And look, after work, I need to watch something that is not anything that we normally watch, which technically would be The Bear. But you guys have been talking about it so often that I'm like, I'm going to go watch a nice show to relax me.
That's fine, because The Bear is not a relaxing show. The Bear is stressful.
Yeah, it is. Well, this show is stressful in the way that, like, you're like, don't be dumb. Do not go in there. I scream at my screen all the time watching this show.
Well, I did finish The Bear. It has, like, some of, like, the greatest moments ever. It's so good. But overall, there's just a lot of the Fack brothers on The Bear.
What's wrong with them? I love them the most.
They're great, but it's just like, it's like the writing staff of The Bear is like, we are a comedy. We are a comedy.
Yeah.
And plugged in so many just moments of the Fack brothers yelling at each other. And there's one moment with a Fack brother that is just brilliant. And the rest I could have done without.
Okay.
But Kelly and I have been catching up on the challenge, and we're watching what's it called? The Search for a New Champion? Battle for a New Champion season of the challenge.
Are you not watching Traitors?
Is there more Traitors somewhere?
Did you watch the first and second season?
Yeah, I've caught up on the UK and American version of Traitors.
Oh.
Coughing.
Jesus Christ, you and Kelly.
But we've been like slacking on our challenge, so we're catching up with that. And it's all like rookies or a couple seasons in, but folks, and don't spoil it for me, guys. I know the season came out like last year.
Don't spoil it for me, you guys. It came out a year ago. But
It
please.
did. But I know people are gonna be like, this person won. I guess if it happens, I don't really care. But no, yeah, it's all like Horacio, and it's like people have never won before, but they've been around for a while. So my issue is, it's like the duds. It's the ones who like they keep bringing back despite them never winning.
The challenge?
Yeah, I mean, I like Horacio. I just think he's kind of boring. When Jay is the most interesting one there, it's like, then why are we watching? I keep calling him a cross between Brandon Barrick and Jeremiah Burton, which a lot of people don't know that Jeremiah Burton, who was on a sketch team with Jessica and I, we used to do sketch shows together. And now Brandon's like blowing up doing Big Time because he just left Donut. And now he's like trending every freaking week. Good for you, Jer.
Jer works very hard. I had to watch Jer on his knees tap dance. And it was a very long scene. It was a very long, full, almost fully improv 10 minutes. And it will never leave my head because he was supposed to be Joe Pesci. And for some reason, we put him in like a toupee that was not Joe Pesci. And he only kept reciting he was Joe Pesci that liked to tap dance and be a star. Erik is crying because this was the most ridiculous sketch. If you see sketch comedy, this sketch has nothing to do with sketch or comedy.
We'd all sit around and read a sketch, and I'd look down immediately, 8 pages long, which is always like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. So it'd be 2 pages of just people riffing. And then on page 3, it would finally get to the game of the scene, and it would be something completely unrelated to the first 2 pages. It's just like, enter Bobo, and Jerry plays a guy named Bobo who's like, oh, hey guys.
And he plays it, so it's so funny. And like when you're reading it, you're like, okay, this is a lot, Jer.
Well, and you read it, it's like Bobo enters on a motorcycle, like an actual motorcycle, and the sketch has to be a gas-powered motorcycle entering the stage. It's like, Jerry, how are we going to do this? He's like, well, it'll be fine because they'll have like lit sparklers and Roman candles on it. Like, no, Jerry, that's not better.
He's so funny. You guys go look up Jeremiah Burton. So proud of him.
Oh, they already know who he is.
Okay.
He's more big time than
He
we
is.
are.
He's huge. I love him. I love Jer.
Yeah.
I will never forget
I'm so
Jer.
happy for him that like Big Time, it's just an immediate success. The second video was like, I bought a truck. He bought a Mack truck. Of course he did. Well, we love you, Jerry. Well, we got to leave it there. But everyone, Agatha's coming September 18th. Mark your calendars. We're going to be all over that show.
Right after my nephew's birthday, I'm going to be like, get away from me. Don't touch me. Witches only.
It's 2024, the year of witches. We got Wicked coming. We got Agatha. We got Alice Rivers on House of the Dragon. We got the Witches of Brendock on Acolyte.
We're about to get some crystals. Hank is coughing up a literal demon right now.
It's coughing up a little witch.
Oh.
She's going to tap dance underneath.
Stop this. Stop this.
Well, comment down below with your thoughts. Follow Jessica at Lulu_Clemons. Follow me at EA Voss. Subscribe to all 3 channels of the New Rockstars Network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.